I'm Andreas Hamberger, and this is the Hamberger Report, where I cover AI governance, enterprise architecture, and the technology decisions that actually matter to the people who have to make them. If you find this useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. Now let's get into it. Ibuprofen reduces fever. 4 words, that is the most important query in this series. Not because of the drug, because of what V.E.R.A returned when it ran. I'm Andreas Hamberger. This is the Hamberger Report, where I cover building an AI hallucination detection engine from concept to commercial product. 7 episodes of architecture led to TOGAF Phase F, migration planning. Phase F is where architecture meets execution. The question shifts from what we should build to how we actually build it, in what order, with what dependencies, and what done actually looks like. V.E.R.A. As Phase F produced 5 milestones. Milestone 1, wire the Krampitz Analyser and formula parser into fast API endpoints. Milestone 2, implement the 5 schema Corpus EQUALITE database. Milestone 3, build the Wikidata extract, transform, and load pipeline. Milestone 4, run the first end-to-end verified query. Milestone 5, bring all 6 Docker containers up and confirm the integrated system behaves. The sequencing is not flexible. Milestones 1, 2, and 3 are prerequisites for milestone 4. You cannot run a verified query without an API, a schema, and data. The critical path is clear. Deviations delay the inflection point, not just one milestone. Milestone 4 is the inflection point, having one concrete acceptance criterion. Ibuprofen reduces fever, returns a verified response with complete provenance, changed how every prior design decision was evaluated. If a design choice did not advance that query, it needed justification. That is good architecture hygiene. Everything before milestone 4 is architecture. Everything after it is evidence. Milestone 1 was wiring, not invention. The Krampitz Analyser and formula parser already existed as standalone Python modules. All 9 rules tested and passing, all 15 parser tests passing. Fast API converted them into a queryable API. The endpoint contracts were defined in Phase C, IF001 for natural language input, IF002 for NTP classification, IF003 for Corpus queries. Milestone 2 was structure. The 5 schema Corpus EQUALITE database, entities, properties, predications, provenance, and the audit trail. Nothing in V.E.R.A can verify a claim until the database exists. Milestone 3 was the most technically interesting part of the migration. Wikidata is structured but not curated. It contains conflicting claims about the same entity, provisional statements alongside verified ones, and a property model that does not map cleanly to V.E.R.A, thus existence, predication, separation. The extract, transform, and load pipeline is where NTP's formal claim taxonomy earns its keep. Every entity entering the corpus must pass the existence predication firewall. Existence confirmed, predication sourced, provenance chain complete. The work package split was deliberate. Claude implemented the fast API endpoints, SQLite schema migrations, ETL pipeline code, Docker configuration, and test scaffolding. Andreas owned every architecture decision, every NTP fidelity check, and every decision about what enters the EPA. Corpus that boundary is not a constraint on velocity. It is the architecture. V.E.R.A is built to close the verification gap. The structural distance between an AI system's ability to generate conclusions and its ability to confirm those conclusions are correct. A system designed to detect AI hallucination cannot itself be built carelessly. Milestone 4 arrived on the week of the 21st of March 2026. V.E.R.A received Ibuprofen reduces fever, passed it through the triple-layer verification pipeline, and returned a structured response with a complete provenance chain. Long formula parser processed the claim in 23 milliseconds. 2 logical components, First, an existence assertion. Ibuprofen is a real entity in the world. That is an E-type claim on the non-traditional predication theory, derived from the formal logic of Horst Wessel. It requires verified existence, not inference from description. Second, a predication. This entity has the property of reducing fever, also E-type. Both require sources, neither can be accepted on plausibility alone. That is the existence predication firewall, working as designed. The E-verification service routed the entity check to the Corpus. Ibuprofen returned a confirmed entity record, Wikidata entity Q424846, 3 independent citations, complete provenance chain. The predication check retrieved the antipyretic mechanism from the WHO Model Formulary, confirming cyclooxygenase inhibition as the sourced mechanism for fever reduction. The output had 4 fields: entity, confirmed, predication source, confirmed, confidence level, high, audit trail, complete, human readable, time-stamped, reproducible. Total pipeline time, 340 milliseconds, within the 5-second P95 latency budget defined in Phase D. On the first 47 test queries, the hallucination index registered at 0.19. 9 queries were correctly classified as unverifiable, not assumed correct. No false positives, no false negatives against manually reviewed test cases. Everything before that query was architecture. Everything after it is evidence. Running milestone 4 revealed 3 things that architecture alone could not have predicted. First, Wikidata entity quality varies by domain. Pharmaceutical entities carry strong provenance, WHO codes, KS numbers, multiple independent citations. Governance entities are weaker. The e-corpus needs domain-specific quality thresholds, not a single universal standard. That is Phase H change request 1. Second, the audit trail is the primary debugging instrument, not just a compliance record. When a query fails e-corpus verification, the audit trail identifies exactly where in the pipeline the failure occurred. It is both compliance record and engineering diagnostic. Phase H change request 2. Third, the hallucination index at 0.19 needs careful interpretation. Those 9 partial verifications are not hallucinations. They are gaps in corpus coverage. The system is correctly signaling uncertainty, not generating false confidence. Tracking that rate as the corpus grows is Phase H change request 3. Phase G implementation governance is now active. 6 CI/SLE compliance checks run on every commit, E-type claims sourced, NTP formulas traceable to Wessel, existence predication firewall enforced, test suite at 100%, Docker health checks passing, audit trail readable, every commit, every merge, no exceptions. V.E.R.A.S architecture has been formally mapped against the 5 OECD AI governance principles. Inclusive growth, human-centered values, transparency, robustness, accountability, all 5 are satisfied architecturally. Accountability is not a policy document attached to a system after the fact. It is a design property. The Pharma 500 corpus build has started. 500 drug entities from the WHO Model Formulary and the New Zealand Formulary, built in Aotearoa for Aotearoa and for the world. For is no longer architecture, it is evidence. Phase H is where we govern what comes next. If you are following the V.E.R.A journey, subscribe. I will share every step from proof of concept to product. Subscribe to the Hamberger Report, new videos every day. That is the Hamberger Report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow.